Alright, hello everybody, my name is Senkara and welcome back to Gray Dusk and Dawn! So far we're off to a good start. If you haven't seen the first episode, be sure to go and check that out or you will not know what's happening. So, last time we ended off, we were going to possibly kill the track team because they might be a threat because, they wear, good looking outfits and John might see them and go, "Oh!" But no, because we know John wouldn't do that. John loves us. John loves Lizzie. And we are in Lizzie's perspective right now. But what's really cool is, I'm not moving the mouse. Look at it go. Her mind wants to kill the track team just to be safe. And I think that's a really cool addition to the game, just to show us how Lizzie's mind works. So if you like how Lizzie's mind works, if you like this game, then be sure to subscribe, join the Discord server, and let's go. John would want you to let it go. Lizzie gripped her forehead with both hands, forcing the thought away. She didn't need to do that anymore. The hollowness within her grew and grew as she left campus. Fortunately, their little apartment was nearby. Oh, they lived together. A split home provided as housing for couples. Well, that's cool. It had taken serious work to obtain one, despite not being married, as the fools in admissions thought there was a chance she and John might break up. Why did they think that? Why would they assume that? Is it because you're not married or what? Since it was 2:52, John was likely to be reading for his class. He had referenced a paper being due soon, but he never went down to the computer lab until she was in class. After all, he knew she might need him. Oh, that's so sweet. His consideration made a warm glow spread through Lizzie, but that wasn't enough. She needed to see him. She had her key in hand as she approached the door, but it was already unlocked, almost as if he had known. Lizzie threw it open and rushed inside. Calm down. Oh man, John looks good. Whew, look at him, what a babe. John sat on the couch reading a textbook. He looked perfect. And when he glanced up at the noise, he saw her there, gasping for breath with her eyes wild. He just gave a comforting smile. Aww. Everything alright, Lizzie? Of course it is. I just forgot a book I needed for class. That's a lot of tomatoes back there. Ooh, I mean really, look at all those tomatoes. That's a lot. Who needs that many tomatoes? That's a lot of tomatoes. Anyway, she swept up to him and wrapped her arms around his shoulders to give him a slow kiss. The sight of him had calmed her considerably, and Lizzie tried to keep the desperation out of the kiss. Yes, this warm intimacy with him was what she needed. There was no sense in giving him anything to worry about. It's really sweet. I'm a bit concerned, but sweet. She had found him, her perfect person. Lizzie drew back slightly and rested her forehead against his. Her heart filled with warmth and his melody strong in her mind once more. I love you, Lizzie. It made her heart flutter just as much as the first time he'd said it. I love you too, John, more than anything. But as happy as she was to reply, she sensed that something wasn't quite right. There was a bit of tension in his eyes. Whoa, that's rather creepy eyes. That's more than a bit of tension. I don't know what's up with that. Look at the photos in the background. Oh, that's cute. Anyway. Was he carrying some weight? Depression? Had someone done something to him? Hey, you both have issues, and that's okay. No. Lizzie realized that wasn't it. He was looking at her with concern. I don't know. That's a little more than concern. Having sensed some part of her neediness, it was wonderful that he was so attentive, but the idea that she could have caused him any pain broke her heart. Oh, Lizzie, it's okay. Is there anything you want to talk about? We care about you, Lizzie. You're allowed to talk. I don't know. Because you see, I want to give her the best option for her to be the best she can be, but also I want to play it as her, and I know she would bring up something else. But it won't be healthy for her. She needs to at least ask indirectly. I'll go with that, because explaining fully might be a bit too much. That's a nice knife on the desk there. But yes, ask indirectly. John, have you ever been approached by a couple? He blinked at that, pulling back to look at her face more clearly. Approached by a couple? I mean, there are people in other apartments, of course. We talk sometimes. But they haven't asked you to do anything social? Not since they asked everyone to that block party that didn't actually happen. What's this about? It's nothing. Lizzie, is there something you're upset about? I'm just being paranoid. It's nothing to worry about, John. Lizzie kissed him quickly, pleased to see the puzzled look on his face. Of course, he would never even dream of doing something that would hurt her, even if he was approached by awful people. That's right, Lizzie, he never would. Never would. Though she longed to stay, she knew it was better to go to class. Maximizing time in the short term would only hinder their long-term objectives. Yeah, that's right. And she wanted as much of him as she could possibly get. That's a really good way to think about it, Lizzie. Good on you. That is healthy. That is good. I think. Lizzie headed into their bedroom and traded one spiral notebook for another, feeling a moment of guilt at the deception. But no, it was better this way. She could take the burden onto herself and leave his life lighter. I don't know how I feel about that, eh? That's my job. But also you gotta talk. It's healthy. Good for you. Talk to your partners. She left with a kiss and a cheery wave, but then crept around the side of the apartment. She had left a little earlier than necessary to arrive to class on time for this very purpose. From the perfect angle, she could see him through the window going back to his book, studying so seriously to help them have a better life together. Lizzie didn't try to hide the broad smile on her face, but spent a while watching him. There was less of a need to watch him now that they were together, but she still enjoyed it. Once a stalker, always a stalker. Once she had been observed, and the other girl had made a despicable assumption that Lizzie was concerned that he would cheat on her, as if such a thing was possible, as if she needed any reason to except to look at him. That's really cute. No, obviously, he would never cheat on you, he loves you. She did like to observe him sometimes to make sure he wasn't sad again. John's depression was mostly under control now that they had abandoned the awful Koitek medicine, but she knew it was a part of him that needed to be watched. Yeah, that's good, yeah. The thought of his inner sadness made Lizzie want to run back inside and kiss him again, forget class and just spend time making love until he looked only happy and relaxed. You gotta do what you gotta do, go to class. Reluctantly, Lizzie pulled herself away and headed towards the lecture hall. John was mentally healthy. He wouldn't forget about her love just because she was away for a little while. She made sure of that. That's right. What? What does that mean? No, he wouldn't forget, obviously. This is a nice classroom. I love this. Oh, love the atmosphere. Look at the color. Look at the ceiling. Oh, it's nice. Anyway, I mean, you could have a fancy dinner in here. Anyway, she arrived just a little late. But it was a relaxed university, and no one cared too much, as most universities are, I think. Lizzie carefully set out her books and focused on the lesson. There were worse things than classes. If the universe declared that she couldn't spend every single moment with him, she needed something else to fill her time. With a few exceptions like psychology, classes weren't obnoxious at all. A few even provided knowledge that might have utility in the future. That's always good. I like the way she thinks in these situations. And all of it had some utility in getting them closer to their degrees. Once it had been difficult for Lizzie to think about such long-term plans, but now she could see them, both of them earning degrees would help them create the life they wanted. That's good. That's good thinking process. Yeah, well done, Lizzie. But after that, things became more tangled in her mind. She wanted to be with him. She wanted whatever he wanted. But he was convinced that they should take jobs in the industry. Play some small role in preventing pharmaceutical giants like Koitek from doing anything as terrible as they'd done at their old high school. That's good. I love purpose like that. Good on you, John. Very, very me. Or the experiment they had done that had led to Lizzie's existence. The idea that John wanted to make sure there would never be anyone else like her, that she would be the only one. Are you thinking of this in a good way or a bad way, Lizzie? That could be taken. See, the first sentence is like, he doesn't like her, but the last sentence is like she just wants one of her. I don't know. Okay, good. That's how I thought she would take it. It made her tingle all over. She didn't think he would approve of that thought, but she liked it so much that she kept it to herself. But the idea of getting involved with Koitik again, even indirectly, still left her. She wanted what he wanted, of course, a life together. They would have that, but no matter what they chose, it would be fine. For once, Lizzie set such thoughts aside and focused fully on class. Interesting. After the lecture finished, Lizzie practically skipped out of the hall. It had been her last class of the day, and John had likely finished the work that he needed to do in the computer lab. That left them the rest of the day to themselves. So she wouldn't have to leave him again. Lizzie stopped by the store first, since they were low on food. Yeah, me too. Let's probably do that. It hurt her pride as a cook that they had to eat ramen, but money was tight. I understand. See, money's never really that tight for me. I'm good with money. But yes, hurts my pride as a cook. The least, oh, that music. Yes! I'm glad they kept the old music. I love this piece. It's so good. The least she could do was purchase cheap vegetables and enhance the experience. Good on you, Lizzie. I need to do more things like that, you know? As she picked out appropriate ones, Lizzie carefully kept track of her spending versus the amount of money she had left. She had aged out of child support, not that the man who had impregnated her mother had ever been reliable, which combined with college expenses left her in a more difficult financial situation than ever before in her life. True, I didn't think of that. She was careful to add everything up in her head so that she still had enough money to drop by the pharmacy after getting their groceries. And Lizzie's probably pretty good with money, I would say, but also, food's okay. You can spend money on food. It's like getting vegetables and stuff, that's good. There was a small locally owned one where she felt comfortable getting John's depression medication, though it seemed to be getting more expensive these days. Of course, she did still own Abby's home in their hometown, but Lizzie wanted to avoid anything to do with it in case Koitek was watching, and John would never want to live there anyway. Perhaps after they graduated, she could sell the house for a down payment on one of their own. That idea gave her a pleasant hum of emotions as she finished her errands and headed back home, still with a spring in her step. But when Lizzie arrived, she found the door locked. She quickly pulled out her key, adding another scratch mark to the lock before successfully opening it. Why are there scratch marks on the lock? The apartment was empty, briefly making her heart hammer in her chest. Relax, Lizzie, it's just at class or something, right? There was a note on the table and she seized it, eyes flickering over the words. John had gone to the computer lab and said he hoped to be back before she was, but that it might be longer, so she had an explanation. Lizzie, I know you probably wanted him to be there, but that's just how it is sometimes. Sorry about it. But that's okay, you'll still be with him soon. But even as Lizzie breathed a sigh of relief, part of her mind began to churn with other thoughts. What if this was some kind of excuse? He wouldn't lie to you, Lizzie. I made sure that I didn't lie to you when I played as him, oh dear. No. John would never do such a thing. Never. Lizzie crumpled the paper in her hands, then nervously tried to smooth it out again. John would never betray her. She knew that now, carried that fact tightly in her heart, but the world was filled with awful people, terrible women who might try to seduce him, and even if he pushed them away, the idea of one of them laying a hand on him. And what if Koitek got a hold of him somehow? They'd already tried it once, to use him to get to her. She thought they were safe now, but what if she was wrong? Once, Lizzie might have flown out the door and hunted him down until she could be sure that he was safe. Now she found herself pacing, fingers tangling in her hair, as she tried to quiet the thoughts screaming in her head. On a whim, Lizzie grabbed the extra spiral notebook she had taken and slapped it down on the table. She began furiously writing everything in her head, letting the thoughts out to give herself a little relief. That's good, Lizzie. Well done, Lizzie. I'm proud of you. I need to do that shit more. She'd done this once before she had met him, just like she had collected pictures of him. Now that she had the real thing, she had neglected such habits. But they had helped her once. Perhaps they could again. Yeah, good. Finally, she was done. Lizzie took a deep breath and looked over the page of furious scribbling. Some of the thoughts there embarrassed her. She needed to trust him utterly, but it was good to get them out of her head onto the paper. Good on you, Lizzie. That's the way. Yes, she trusts him, and it's good to get that out so that she can continue to trust him. This is healthy advice for everyone. She felt calm again, and the memory wafted from the deep recesses of her soul. I think it's wafted. I forget how to pronounce things when I'm recording. I'm usually good at pronouncing. The place where she kept him, comforting her even now. Though the page was a mess, she had returned from the edge. Lizzie realized that she was gripping a knife in her other hand. After a pause, she set it down. That knife? That's a cool knife. Where's your knife collection, by the way? I like that. I thought that was pretty cute. Though her mind was clear, she still wasn't sure what to do. Obviously, John would never cheat on her. He had been very considerate to leave a note, and no doubt that explained the situation. It was also unlikely that anything terrible had happened to him. That's right, it's okay. She still missed him, though, and wanted to drown the rest of her fears in his presence. It was possible that he would be unhappy if his work had gone on too long, and might be happy to see her. Lizzie closed the notebook and put it with the others, considering what she could do. What could she do? Start making dinner? Wait for him? Go meet John at the computer lab? That is a very tempting offer, but no. Well, it's almost about time to finish this episode. Sorry, I know you love cliffhangers, but I'm evil. So, don't worry, it's gonna get longer and longer as we keep going. But what did we think of today's episode? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and be sure to subscribe for more to find out what happens next. Ooh, I'm really liking this. I like that we get to look into Lizzie's mind and see how she thinks. And also, honestly, she's being really healthy. She's doing good, healthy things, and that is inspiring and makes me want to do good, healthy things too. It makes me want to write thoughts down when I have to, when I'm thinking too much, and things like that, and that's good. I think we should all aspire to do that. And it's really good to see that Lizzie as a Yandere is, fixing these issues with her and helping herself, healing herself, and she's doing okay. I mean, she has her issues and she's still thinking a bit too much, but overall, she's doing a good job, and she's doing really well. I'm so proud of her. Are you guys proud of her? I'm so proud of Lizzie. Good on you, Lizzie. Well done. I love it. I love Lizzie. I know we all love Lizzie, and I'm sure we can all be proud of her in this moment. So if you enjoyed this, and you're proud of Lizzie too, then be sure to subscribe to continue this series and find out what happens next. My name has been Senkara. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you there. See ya.